Hey folks, welcome back to the trail. Well, we're sticking with the ostrich farm today, so let's dig into it. In no way am I or the farmers downplaying the severity of avian flu, okay? You know, the birds suffer and there's a definite loss of livelihood within the farms, okay? So we're not downplaying that. They just wanted to test their birds. That's it. Okay, second point. There's still an injured hen at the farm, as far as I know, and the owners / farmers would love to be able to go in and give it anti-inflammatories and electrolytes, but no such luck. Not allowed to. So there's that. Thirdly, gullible, naive me, I just figured with the Supreme Court stay order that they were going to get their day in court. But I have since read Karen, the owner of the farm, mentioned that all the court documents are in now, submitted, to see if they will get their day in front of the Supreme Court. So that must be why the CFIA are still moving forward with the kill complex, multi-level bales of hay / straw to perform the cull. So here's another part about the hay. The owners did not handpick, do not know where this hay is coming from, but yet here it is being introduced to their herd, to their farmland. You know, they did not sanction where this product was coming from. That's another great loss of rights, the way I look at it. And lastly, I want to touch on the avian flu. Here in my area, if you had a business organization that dealt with critters, like the environment, right? So you got critters coming in, you have flocks of birds coming in, like let's say a landfill, okay? A couple years ago, it has to be at least 2 years ago, in my province, they came to these sites and did like information sessions and workshops, basically saying batten down the hatches because the bird flu is going to be the next big thing. So, went over protocol, gave them all the information. So this was a couple years ago that they projected that the bird flu was going to be a widespread, terrible, terrible thing. Okay, so that being said, you've got the ostrich farm where some birds died. I believe it was 2 birds. They came in, tested them. They had been dead for 24 hours. It came back that yes, they had the bird flu. So then the farmer requested testing of the herd, the rest of the herd. No. And you know the story. 6 months in jail, $200,000 worth of fines. But my question is, if you were projecting the bird flu to become a thing, and it can't be just in my area, right? It had to have been maybe Canada-wide, I'm not really sure. Why wouldn't you be putting some effort in to testing the birds, seeing if they're healthy, and possibly looking at herd immunity for creating something to keep future birds and farmers safe from the avian flu? I mean, in this country, you're big on vaccinating. The government's big on vaccinations. So why wouldn't you want to explore the fact that these birds could be holding something that you could turn into a vaccination to help this widespread problem? We already know the answer to that. So if you could stop the further devastation of avian flu, but you're not, you just want a mass cull on something that could benefit this situation, my logic, it doesn't work. Government's logic has never registered with me. They're not very logical sometimes. So that's my deal. If you projected it, then why wouldn't you want to explore things, and not just with the avian flu, like the eggs, the ostrich eggs have antibodies in them as well that could be used in other healthcare aspects, sectors, different diseases. Research can be done there. But if they definitely have herd immunity, which they're saying, I'm pretty sure today is either day 260 or day 261 of healthy birds herd immunity. Why not utilize that? Because with the avian flu, I'm not an expert, I'm not a scientist, just don't start beating me up in the comments. There's a lot of factors. There's environmental factors on your farm, your property. After you've had a case or cases of avian flu, there's the environment factor, if it's still there. And then there's an incubation factor of how long it will actually be within the birds. Hence, herd immunity. So yeah, that's where I'm going today. There's a few updates that I know of, and then that was just something that was really plaguing me. If you were projecting a significant rise in bird flu and you were worried about it enough to visit landfill facilities and other facilities that deal with, having public come in, but also being touched by wildlife like critters and, birds, migratory birds. It's not new, and they're not going anywhere. They come and go. So why wouldn't you want to explore a giant herd, flock, however you want to call it, of ostriches, like 399, for you to figure out if, herd immunity is a thing, and if you could benefit society with it. So there you go. There's my blah, blah, blah. And I'll probably see you down in the comments. And remember, this is usually not a political channel, but we're getting down to the wire here, folks, for these poor birds. So we need to do something. So anyways, take care, guys.